Hey guys, it's Olivia here, OVjanelle. So I've recently acquired a HUION tablet, a nice big GT-221 Pro HUION tablet. And it's my first time using a big screen tablet like this. I had previously had a ThinkPad Pro laptop that I used to draw on, and it had a screen with a pen, but it wasn't the greatest resolution. It was very small, and the colors were absolutely horrid. You draw something on that tablet, move it to a computer, and you'd be like, wait, what happened to the colors? They're wrong. So this is my first time using a nice big screen tablet. It's a brand new experience for me, and I'm still kind of learning. Here I'm working on a drawing that I did just all in the tablet, no drawing it in a sketchbook firsthand like I usually do. So it's a learning experience. So I thought I'd make a quick little, I guess you call it a review video, maybe a pro and con video. Not sponsored. I'm not big enough to be sponsored. But it's a pro and con video that I'm going to kind of put together for you here. So we'll start off with the pros. So when I went to confession, I didn't install this thing, so I can't really review the installation process because I came home from work one night and it was magically installed into my computer on my desk, sitting there, because my boyfriend Sam had put it together for me because it was a Christmas present from him. So it had already been put together, but I still had to finagle with the settings, which I found to be very, very user-friendly. You click it and it works like my old HUION tablet, the one that was just a regular look up at the screen, draw down below tablet. It didn't have very good settings because it oftentimes wouldn't even open the settings for me, and I had to like wait 800 years for it to open. But it's very responsive. The program is very user-friendly, and it's very easy to select which hotkeys you want to do what, and what you want the pin to do, and the pin pressure, and everything like that. It's very easy to use. The visibility you have on this thing, it's humongous. It's about, it's pretty big. I will measure it sometime for you. It's about as big as a large computer monitor. The one that I have here behind it is a little bit smaller. It's maybe the size of a TV. It's very large, and you have a lot of room to move with it. It's very good for, when you have to make big strokes, or when you want to zoom in and work on a big space, but you don't have a lot of, room normally, but this time you do, because you can zoom in and still have all that room to work because the screen is so massive. So it's got a lot of good visibility. The color resolution is amazing. I have not had any problems with the colors on my drawings going to different devices and being completely wrong. I have no troubles with that. Color resolution is spot on. My favorite aspect of this thing is that it has hotkeys. So it has hotkeys, and they're these little buttons on the side. I know probably you've seen hotkeys before on other tablets, and if not, I pity you. But I have them set up to where I have the top one, I believe I have, is my undo button. Then I've got a space for whenever I need to select multiple things. So just like select and space, space, space. I've got one set up to be the magic wand tool, one set up to be an eyedropper, and I haven't set up the rest of them yet. I'm kind of deciding what I need most as I go along. But then also the pin has hotkeys on it too, so you can select either an eraser or a brush with a little hotkey on the pin. My absolute favorite, and I didn't discover this except by accident, I discovered this by accident, is that there's actually these little indented oval shapes on the sides that when you rub your finger against them, they scroll down on whatever item is selected. So if you have your layers menu selected, it will actually scroll through your layers menu. If you have your what is it called? Your navigation menu selected, where you would move around with the little red square to see where you go on your drawing. You have that selected, at least in Manga Studio, it's a red square, but you have your navigation toolbar selected, and you just zoom in and out like that. You move your finger up one way, down the other way, it'll actually zoom in and out of your drawing for you, and it'll just scroll for you like a dandy little thing. It is so nice. And again, the large screen. I cannot even tell you 800 times enough how much I love the large screen. It is so nice to have, because I had been working on tiny laptops, smaller laptops, not really having enough room to work. It's also really disorienting when you have a nice size computer monitor, but your tablet that you're working on that doesn't have a screen is rather small. So it's kind of like, ooh, this is weird because you've got to adjust. But with this, the world is your oyster, and you have as much space to work as you feel necessary, and it's really nice because everything you see there, you can move your pin around it, and it's just, I don't even have words. I don't have adequate words for how I feel about the amount of space I have on this tablet. Because one thing I was really scared about was getting a larger tablet, because I knew I didn't have a lot of space, but I'm glad I did. I know it takes up a whole lot of space on my desk, but I'm really glad I did. So then we'll lead into the cons. So one of those cons is the space consuming. It's a very space consuming tablet. It's rather large. It takes up most of my desk. I don't hardly have any room to put my keyboard whenever I need to use it. And I don't use my monitor anymore because it's just too much hassle. So instead I just use this tablet as a monitor and have my mouse out. But it's kind of awkward because my mouse is slightly behind the tablet because it can't reach. It's just a very awkward setup. And I kind of wish I had a better way to set it up, but unfortunately I don't. So in the meantime, this is what I have. So that would be, I guess, a con, is that if you don't have a lot of space, it is very space consuming, and it's kind of annoying. So then also the tablet and pin alignment. So whenever you draw, this is something I've noticed, and I don't really know how to fix it. Maybe I just haven't looked into it hard enough. I've looked in the settings and I can't find anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever you draw, whenever you put your pin to the tablet, it's just the place where it makes the mark, the little circle where your pin is, where your cursor is, and where the pin actually hits the screen is just a little bit off. And so it's a little bit, what's the word? Disorienting, because you'll have your pin there on the screen, but your drawing mark is a little ways to the left, and just a smidgen to the left, and it's just really weird. Because you're trying to draw and you're thinking, oh, my pen should be touching here and making the mark like a regular pencil, but it's not, because it's still all digital and it's not a real pen. It's a digital pen, and it's marking a little bit. I think it's actually to the right. It goes a little bit to the right, but that's irrelevant. It's a little bit off. It's possibly fixable. I feel like it should be fixable. I feel like it's something that should be in the settings. I just haven't discovered it yet. But I thought I'd add that to my con because a lot of people might not be able to find that setting just like me. So, also, there's some glitches I've had with it with Manga Studio. I use Manga Studio primarily. That's my program of choice. I've played around with Paint Tool Sai and I've used Photoshop a lot in my life, but I really like Manga Studio. So when I use Manga Studio, there's sometimes these little glitches where it will, just stop marking. It'll just stop drawing, and you'll try to press down on the pen and make your mark and draw your face or whatever, and it'll just go beep, boop, and just skip over from not even making a mark where you dragged, but just jump from where you touched down the pen to where you lift it up. And it won't draw, and you have to go into the preferences on Manga Studio. I've discovered this. You go into preferences on Manga Studio and you select, you don't even have to select anything. You just make sure it's set to tablet PC, I believe is what it is. And if it's selected to that already, you just press OK, and it usually resets the whole thing and makes it so that it'll draw again. But it's really annoying, and you have to go in and do that. Not a lot, but often enough that it's kind of disconcerting. I did actually have a big issue recently. I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram or Tumblr, but most of you might have heard about my issue when I was working on the comic on Saturday. The tablet just absolutely stopped working. It worked, it moved the cursor around when you had it, but it would not draw. What happened was, whenever I'd go to draw something, it would erase it. And I don't know if this was a tablet issue or a Manga Studio issue, and I really don't know what was going on, but I couldn't work on the comic. I couldn't work on my comic because it just kept erasing. It kept erasing what I was working on. It would let me fill things in with a fill tool. It would let me select things, but it wouldn't let me draw, and it was driving me nuts. I don't even know what I did to fix it. I didn't do anything. It just started working again. It was really weird. I don't know if that was a tablet issue or a Manga Studio issue or an operator error. I'm not entirely sure what that was, but it was a little bit disconcerting. And since I've been having so many glitches with Manga Studio and the tablet, I figured it was kind of along those lines. If you had anything similar like that happen, let me know and tell me, what's going on with it, because I Googled that stuff. I Googled it so many different ways trying to figure out what was going on. All I could find was Manga Studio tutorials, like how to draw things. It was annoying. So here is my hefty conclusion, is that the pros overweigh the cons, or the outweigh. I wrote overweigh on my notes because I couldn't do English. The pros outweigh the cons. I'm glad I made this decision because it is, something that will help me in the long run with my artwork. It'll help me grow as an artist and get things done quicker. It will help you get things done quicker. That is another pro I would want to tack on there, because whenever you're drawing on a screen tablet, it's more natural. You are drawing in a more natural environment for yourself. Normally you draw on paper. Drawing on a tablet that doesn't have a screen and looking up at the monitor as you're trying to draw on that tablet, that's not natural, and it's going to take you a lot longer to do. So drawing on a screen tablet will definitely take a lot shorter amount of time. So my artwork has made it a lot quicker. It's been quicker to get things done, and it's really nice. So I do recommend getting at least some kind of screen tablet if you're serious about your artwork, because it can help a lot. If you want to get the HUION tablet that I have, I would kind of recommend that because it's been really nice for me, aside from those glitches with Manga Studio. I've not had any issues with Paint Tool Sai. And I've not used Photoshop with it yet, but Paint Tool Sai has behaved very well, and I know a lot of people love to use Paint Tool Sai. But no, if you want to get a Cintiq, if you want to get a HUION, if you want to get whatever you're going to get, definitely I would invest in one, because they're very useful, very handy, and I think I've spoken enough on this topic. So, thanks for watching, and be sure to leave a like if this was at all helpful, or at least entertaining as I babbled along. And, hey, maybe subscribe as well. I don't know. So yeah, see you. Bye.